Knee injuries are a fact of life in any sport. But over the past 20 years, serious knee sprains, usually involving the anterior cruciate ligament, have become an inherent risk of modern alpine skiing, with more than 20,000 sustained by skiers in the United States each year. Injury to the ACL can result in an unstable knee, which may lead to expensive surgery or a lengthy period of rehabilitation if the injured skier is to resume an active lifestyle. The most common ACL injury scenario has been termed the phantom foot because it involves the tail of the ski, a lever which points in a direction opposite that of the human foot. Three types of situations cover the phantom foot syndrome: attempting to get up while still moving following a fall, attempting a recovery from an off-balance position, attempting to sit down after losing control, to help reduce the risk of ACL injury, skiers must first learn to recognize potentially dangerous situations while there is still time to respond. The list that follows defines a profile of the phantom foot ACL, which was developed from an analysis of more than 12,000 skiing injuries. Each element is defined by a scene of a skier an instant prior to ACL injury. Uphill arm back, skier off balance to the rear, hips below the knees, uphill ski unweighted, weight on the inside edge of the downhill ski tail, upper body generally facing downhill ski. Result: when all 6 elements of the phantom foot profile are present at the same time, injury to the downhill leg is imminent. Watch the next scene carefully. All 6 elements fall into place as the skier attempts to sit down following a loss of control. Uphill arm back, off balance to the rear, hips below the knees, uphill ski unweighted, weight on the inside edge of the downhill ski tail, upper body generally facing downhill ski. Note: all elements of the phantom foot profile are now present. Injury to the downhill leg is now imminent. In order to respond effectively, skiers must recognize potentially dangerous situations before all elements of the phantom foot have fallen into place. Most desirable initial response is one that addresses as many elements as practical without limiting the skier's ability to take other appropriate measures, including any actions necessary to avoid collision with obstacles or other skiers. The following actions summarize an appropriate initial response. Arms forward, skis together, hands over skis. Phantom foot injuries occur when the tail of the downhill ski, in combination with the stiff back of the modern ski boot, act as a lever to apply a unique combination of twisting and bending loads to the knee. This plan is intended to reposition the downhill thigh in line with the downhill ski in order to reduce the twisting loads on the knee. Reposition the uphill ski so that it is available for weight transfer. Put the skier in a good position for either recovery or a controlled fall. It may also be possible to help reduce the risk of serious knee sprains by paying closer attention to skiing technique. Several elements of the phantom foot profile can be considered bad habits. Uphill arm back, off balance to the rear, and hips below the knees are not part of normal skiing technique. If corrective actions are routinely taken whenever any one of the three is encountered, it could help prevent the chain of events leading to ACL injury from ever getting started. Keep arms forward. Keep hips above knees. Maintain balance and control. Many injuries might be prevented by learning a few simple rules and eliminating altogether certain types of high-risk behavior. Don't fully straighten your legs when you fall. If your ultimate intent is to bail out by means of a controlled fall, knees should remain flexed until you have stopped sliding. Although you should routinely correct your stance whenever hips fall below your knees, attempting to straighten your legs as part of an initial response to the full-blown threat of an ACL injury puts the already vulnerable downhill knee at even greater risk. Return to a normal skiing stance only as part of a maneuver to recover balance and control after you have addressed other elements of the phantom foot profile. Don't try to get up until you've stopped sliding. Unless you are trying to avoid an obstacle or another skier, when you're down, stay down. Don't land on your hand. Keep your arms up and forward in any kind of fall. Whether you're trying to get up or sit down, if your skis are still moving, you're at risk. Pushing off or breaking your fall with your uphill arm greatly increases the chance of injury. Don't jump unless you know where and how to land. Land on both skis if possible and keep your knees bent. Avoiding high-risk behavior, routinely correcting poor technique, and recognizing and responding effectively to potentially dangerous situations are as important to injury reduction in alpine skiing as having your bindings checked, keeping your equipment in good shape, and following your skier responsibility code.
This program is experimental and may be changed at any time. To order the most current version, call Vermont Safety Research, 802-899-4738.